Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 17 of season 2 of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Yes, of course, if you missed out on the last video from this series, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But as always though, a massive thank you because every time I seem to do a video of one of these series, we seem to have jumped to the next subscriber milestone. A massive thank you to all of you guys. We've now smashed through 42,000 subscribers. We're already getting pretty close to 43k, so if you're not already, please do leave a like and get yourself subscribed as well, for more Formula 1 content from me. But like I said though, go check out Singapore if you missed that out on that one as well. Apologies to those of you that did check that video out. I've got no idea why YouTube decided to leave it processing for about 30 hours in the end. So, if you want to go back and watch that one in full 4K, then that option should now be available to you guys. But yeah, heading though to Suzuka this weekend then. Still getting a lot of upgrades currently in progress there. You can see we've got 2 more that should be done before the next race out, but we're still ahead of Alpine, Aston Martin and AlphaTauri at the moment as well there. AlphaTauri starting just to drop back ever so slightly over the last couple of race weekends there. You can see the massive leap forward we made from Russia in towards Singapore, but still working hard as we come towards the end of Season 2. Of course, Japan, been a while since I raced at Suzuka on the F1 games, so intrigued to see how we get on this weekend. Let's get into qualifying. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Right, well here we are then, back at sunny Suzuka here, and boy does it feel good to take a Formula 1 car around this track once again. I'm so looking forward to Formula 1 finally returning to Japan this year as well there. Of course, fingers crossed that is what happens. But yeah, fingers crossed though this weekend we can try and set a good lap time nice and early in qualifying. Obviously, Japan I'd forgot though on F1 2021 because of the curbs is now a very difficult track to try and get a lap hooked up. When you sort of consider the fact there's no Armco barriers particularly close to the circuit. I mean, if you run off, you're probably going to find one. But yeah, this track now a really big challenge on the F1 game. I quite like that to some degree. Sometimes it's just downright annoying. Valtteri Bottas setting the pace at the moment there, 26.6 for him in his Mercedes. Of course, yeah, Max Verstappen's still leading the way in the Drivers' Championship at the moment as we head out down in through Spoon there, down in towards 130R. So many iconic corners on this lap, but just a few more to go of this first run. 111.4 by the end of the middle sector. I've got no idea how competitive that'll be. I need to finally try and show what this car's capable of over 1 lap pace as well there, because the last couple of races, now we've had upgrades applied, haven't really gone our way. At the final corner though, 27.8, 1.2 off those cars there, but quicker than Charles Leclerc and his Ferrari. I mean, we should be close to Ferrari now. I think Leclerc though, to be honest, just messed up the lap because he's slower than Kimi. Well, time's now starting to improve across the board there, which means we've been relegated down to P13. We are still ahead of George Russell though, which is always a good sign on F1 2021. So let's try and push then on this second lap. We've sort of got our first lap in now. Now I need to be trying to get closer, sort of looking towards those 26s. I don't think we'll get one unless we absolutely nail a lap, but maybe a 27.3, that might be a good sort of time to aim for. Well, I said a 27.3 might be a good time to aim for, and at the moment, it's not looking like we're going to be far away from that prediction, as long as I don't do anything stupid through 130R or the Casio Triangle here as we come towards the end of our second lap. Braking just for the 100 metre wall there means we can attack the curbs on the way in and on the way out. And look at that, that's pretty much going to be a 27.3 on the nose. Look at that, a 27.303. I couldn't have got much closer if I tried. Purple final sector as well. This car is fast. We're at a P7 then at the moment. Obviously, Suzuka really does test a good all-rounder of a car. A lot of twisty bits but a lot of straights as well. And we've got a pretty even car on F1 2021. Very, very happy with that time. Not sure we're going to be able to find much more, though. Right, well, less than a minute left on the clock then, and we're going to get ready for our final lap here, qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. Going to try and set myself up to get the best run out of the final corner there. Oh, big wiggle from the rear end as we try to put all the power down in third gear here. But let's ride on board then for our final lap of Suzuka. Let's see how many places we're probably going to lose as everyone else goes for their final runs as well. They tip it in nicely through turn 1 there. You're basically setting yourself up for the second apex, and then through the S's. No real way to get through here that's sort of a scientific method. You kind of just got to lean the car in and try to keep as much speed up as possible there. As now Sergio Perez goes fastest. We get a big wobble on the exit there, but we keep the foot in, and we're about a tenth and a half down by the end of Sector 1 there. Attack the curbs through the Degners. Again, they're just a little bit of a wobble on the exit. We're throwing a little bit of time away at the moment, trying to chase the clock. But as we get it tipped in through the hairpin, let's just wait and see then. As we try and put the power down out the other side. Still 2/10 down at the moment. Not convinced we're really going to be able to find anything more here as we head in towards the final couple of turns of the lap. There just isn't many areas to try and gain a lot as we run just a bit wide through Spoon there. That's going to compromise our run on the exit, and I think this lap is going to have to basically be abandoned. But it is looking like we are going to start inside the top 10, I think, for the first time in this career mode. They're ahead of Pierre Gasly, so for the first time ever, we're going to be... Oh, no, not the first time ever, I think Spain this year. We started inside the top 10 there as well in a weird session. Up towards the line, though, not going to improve, but P9 on the grid, I'll have that. Well, there we go then, qualifying done and dusted, and it is Sergio Perez on pole ahead of Bottas and Max Verstappen there. Just 24 thousandths of a second separated our top 3. Hamilton joins his main title rival on the second row of the grid there ahead of Norris, both Ferraris and Daniel Ricciardo. And yeah, we were 9th place in the 5th fastest car, pretty much exactly where you'd expect us to be there. George just couldn't quite seem to get the lap hooked up in the end, so he's going to be starting all the way down in P16, I'm sure. Yeah, formerly known as Mr. Saturday, going to be a bit gutted with that one, but 9 thousandths ahead of Pierre Gasly there. AlphaTauri, Alpine, both still looking quick. Let's get into it then here from Suzuka. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula 1 season. We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure of 8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs, so it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, and Leclerc. Ricciardo, Mr. Monaco, Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda, Vettel, Raikkonen, Lance Stroll and Norris. They've taken a grid penalty. Russell, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. Latifi and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Right, well here we are then, on the grid, ready here at Suzuka, finally back once more in Japan. And with a couple of grid penalties around us, we are up into P8, ready for the start of this one. Strategy here at Suzuka, soft to medium is always the way to go. Game doesn't believe it's possible, but that's what we're going to be trying to do here today there. And yeah, Lando Norris in front of us with penalties, Pierre Gasly who was right behind us with penalties. Points should be possible once again though. We've had a pretty good run of form, pretty much I think since Spain this year. We've only had 2 or 3 races where we haven't scored points there. And just consistency has absolutely been key in what has been a crazy, crazy season of Formula 1 there. But ready then, round 17 of 23 here from Suzuka. Waiting on those 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go then here in Japan. Trying to put the power down as best as possible. Esteban Ocon is actually going to get a rocket ship start as we head down towards turn 1. Got to be careful, of course, as always, of the sim damage there as Kimi Raikkonen trying to have a look past us through turn 2. Kimi, yeah, you're never going to find the room around the outside as we head into the S's here, but finally feels nice to be able to drive the Williams around a lap and really do feel now like it is starting to connect with the road a whole lot more. But as we head up the other side there, looks like Verstappen has had a really good start as well, straight up into P2 then of the Grand Prix, getting past Valtteri Bottas, so not what Mercedes would need at the start of this GP there. Hamilton as well losing a place to one of the Ferraris as we're going to go nice and deep into the hairpin there. Kimi Raikkonen again trying to have a look. Perhaps he wants to do, you know, sort of first time racing for Honda. He might want to make him proud here in this Grand Prix back in Japan. But yeah, intrigued to see how Esteban Ocon's going to get on today. He might be sort of the main person we're going to have to race against as the race unfolds. We'll have to wait and see about that one. But looks like, yeah, Red Bull, of course, they want another good showing here. Like we said, Honda power in the back of those Red Bulls and a 1-2 at the end of lap 1. I'm sure they will be loving to see that down there. But we're going to have a look towards the inside of Esteban Ocon in towards the final corner there. A late send past the young Frenchman. Max Verstappen actually leads then at the end of that one. So Verstappen not only got the jump on Bottas, he also got a jump on his teammate Sergio Perez there. So a fantastic start for Max Verstappen in this Grand Prix. After we made that move on Ocon though, we haven't gained, we haven't lost here at the start. But intrigued to see whether we're going to be able to keep up with the McLarens and the Ferraris. They're of course the next car we want to try and close up to in terms of vehicle performance. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what we can do against them today. Oh, big mistake there as we tried to get in towards the hairpin. Just took way too much curb. Kind of spat me out over the grass there. Esteban Ocon trying to have a look up the inside on the exit. But we've got pretty good straight line speed in this car there. But the Alpine is certainly no slouch down the straights. But yeah, it doesn't look like in this first stint anyway we're going to have the pace to match up against the McLarens and the Ferraris there, especially when I run wide off the exit there. Ocon and I now having a drag race as we head down the back straight here. Who's going to be out on top when we get in towards 130R here? Ocon's still on the inside. He lifts out. We both lift out. We're still side by side with Esteban Ocon down in towards the Casio Triangle. And now we'll just slowly squeeze him out on the corner exit there as Sebastian Vettel, ever the opportunist there, is going to take the place from Ocon. So we went from trying to gain one to actually losing a place by the time we got back down towards the start-finish line there. Hamilton, I think, was trying to look up the inside of one of the Ferraris further up the road. But yeah, doesn't seem like we quite got the pace to match the top 8 in this Grand Prix. It's a bit like real life 2021, to be honest. But we didn't often see Williams running in P8, though, in real life. Oh, yellow flag's out. Oh, I think that's Kimi Raikkonen that's gone round. What's happened to Kimi? So Kimi Raikkonen then must have also made a move on Esteban Ocon in this GP. Has he just clipped the inside curb as we head up the hill? Oh, I think he just did. And completely looping it around there. Formula 1's most experienced driver going round here at Suzuka. Of course, had a really scary crash here all those years ago. But Kimi Räikkönen, yeah, dropping places here in Japan. Really going to try and use a lot of battery early on here in Suzuka. But yeah, Ocon must have lost 3 places then, because Tsunoda now up into the top 10 as well here, as we're just making small errors all over the shop. You know, just a couple of tenths here, a couple of tenths there. That gap to Ricciardo is really opening up at an alarming rate, and Sebastian Vettel is probably sensing another place might be available to him. Hamilton now starting to apply the pressure on the cars in front of him, as he's now been able to get past Carlos Sainz in his Ferrari.
Car in front is 5.2 seconds.
We're still just losing a little bit of time lap after lap here, but I'm wondering, of course, if the AI decide to go onto hard compound tyres there, I think we'll see some split strategies by the cars up the road. You know, maybe the likes of Ricciardo, maybe Ferrari, you know, they haven't had a strong car all year. In fact, we're still ahead, I think, of at least Charles Leclerc, maybe even Sainz as well, in the Drivers' Championship. Maybe we can try and close up to them in the second half of this race. So it's about trying to lose as little time as possible. Tyres still looking good according to the team, but we lose so much time through the first sector and then gain it all back in the last. So all a little bit weird at the moment, but just keeping my head down and keeping Seb at bay. And now we're starting to push ourselves into a bit of no man's land then, as we get towards 1/3 distance in this Grand Prix. Ricciardo is still edging out anywhere from a couple to half a second a lap. Sorry, a couple of tenths even to half a second a lap. Sebastian Vettel, though, has now dipped outside the DRS as well. So we are now just creating a bit of breathing room here. Seb's probably going to get that gap back under 1 when we go through the S's. But then, of course, by the time we get to the detection point, we're safely up the road once more. Yeah, Suzuka is still a challenge. Oh, there we go. Max Verstappen, first car into the pit lane then, at just the end of lap 9.
Hit this lap, so push now. We're leading our teammate by 5.7 seconds.
And this could really hamper Verstappen later on in the afternoon there, because he's going to come out. Oh no, he's going to come out not in clear air, but with a little bit of breathing room to Yuki Tsunoda. And I'm sure we're going to see Perez and at least one of the Mercs into the box at the end of this one. But yeah, as soon as I said about Seb, he's now closed up the gap once more. There's made a bit of a mistake, obviously, out of these corners. So still just trying to push at the moment. But yeah, Verstappen on hard tyres there, he might struggle. We're not going to box the end of this one, as we run very, very wide through the first deck there and take a horrible amount of curb through the second. So Seb's now going to be all over my gearbox. But yeah, we're going to pit end of lap 11. We're going to go on to mediums. There we go then, Perez and Hamilton into the box at the end of lap 10 there, as we've actually got a tyre warning just flashing up. So we're going to start losing pace on this rubber pretty quickly now. Hamilton onto hards, Ricciardo onto mediums, Perez onto mediums. So there is some split strategies going on then, as we're now going to be up into the podium places. But may as well just confirm to the team we're going to be boxing, as George Russell, I fear now, is going to pit the same lap as me. I mean, we have to pit now. It just doesn't make sense for us, but this might just completely throw George Russell's race away, which has probably been the story a lot of this year there. George Russell has not had much luck or much pace throughout a lot of this Season 2 campaign. There we go, Bottas into the pits at the end of lap 11. I'm sure we're going to see Carlos Sainz follow him in. Of course, Sebastian Vettel's had slightly fresher rubber there, not making it into the top 10, so he's been able to stick to the back of me over these last few laps. Of course, as our tyres hit the cliff and his didn't quite yet. But getting the car slowed down into the pit lane. Seb stayed out. So Sebastian Vettel and Yuki Tsunoda have both gone for another lap here, as I thought. George Russell has unfortunately dived it in, but fingers crossed if we get a nice clean stop, he won't get held up too badly.
Go, go, go.
2.5. We did lose a little bit there on the exit, but I mean, we're going to come out in some pretty clear air anyway. Fingers crossed here, George won't lose out too much.
Clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Oh, that's not what you want to do on the exit of the pit lane there. Big snap of oversteer as Nikita Mazepin now tries to close up in his Alfa Romeo. We just got to make sure we stay out ahead of Seb. We go, Tsunoda and Sebastian into the pit lane. Are we going to re-emerge ahead of the pair of them as purple through the final sector? Here's Sebastian Vettel. But we will just about stay ahead of the Aston Martin and back up therefore into P8 of the GP. We actually took time out of Ricciardo earlier on
The teammate
this
behind
lap.
is 8.3 seconds.
Maybe the mediums will be the key here, try and have good pace to the end for us, but yeah, looks like Bottas has got the jump on Perez. So Bottas now between the two Red Bulls, but Verstappen looks to be untouchable here as we're nearing the halfway stage of this Japanese Grand Prix. The Dutchman just extending his lead in the championship if things were to end now. Bottas goes fastest, Sergio Perez though goes even faster down into the 28.8, but I mean we're not going to be too far away from that considering we're in a Williams. We get a nice run, which we're not going to at the final corner. This could have been a 29. It's actually going to be still a 29.5. That's not too bad there, but yeah, now the gap to Ricciardo pretty much stagnating again, so I think we just had sort of that glory lap on the first set of tyres there, but I think, to be honest, it's looking today like P8 might be all we can muster, unless one of the cars in front has issues. But where we should be, or not apparently, as now we're going to lose the place to Sebastian. Tsunoda's going to sneak by as well, and suddenly I've just given myself a whole lot more work to do. I thought, you know, we could have spent the last 13 laps here just enjoying ourselves, but no, we're going to have to try and get back past Yuki and close back up the gap to Seb. That's what I mean about Suzuka's curbs there. This track is brutal and there is no room for error. Trying to make sure we stick close to Yuki as we head down the back straightaway here. We need to try and go for moves pretty quickly because I'm just worried about how much time we're going to lose through the first sector there as we take all the curbing through 130R, but we just clip the grass in towards the final couple of corners there through the Casio triangle. Can't put the power down again on the exit, and I think, to be honest, we just need a couple of laps to regroup.
Be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
We've definitely got much better top-end speed than that Alpine, but we haven't got much battery left. And yeah, I'm just worried at the moment we're over-pushing the car, and that's going to cause us damage late on in the day. Just one lap later, then we have closed up to the back of Yuki Tsunoda once more. They got a really nice run, actually, at the Casio Triangle. Purple again through the final sector, and homeboy Tsunoda is going to have to concede P9 there as we storm past the Alpine back down towards turn 1 there. That was a good little move.
You made it look easy.
And that's exactly what we need then. Gives me the confidence to go after Seb as well. We lose a lot through the first sector, but we just gain it all back through Sector 2 and Sector 3 there. This car we can definitely get P8 once more. Just, you know, thought I'd make it interesting. 10 laps to go then here from Suzuka.
It is 1.7 seconds.
Oh, Jeff's just stealing my lines apparently. That was exactly what I was going to say, but Jeff would rather let you know, like, guys know that than me. But, yep, less than 2 seconds now to Seb. Going to be back over 2 with that line. We are closing in on the German. Lap 20 then, gap to Seb at 1.1 seconds, now down to a second. As I'm starting to get a little bit worried about my ERS usage as the race has gone on. Need to try and have enough that we can then mount a proper attack on Sebastian. I can't help but think that Aston Martin going to be a little bit quicker than the Alpine down the straight. So we're second guessing ourselves through the S's, not something you ever want to do on F1 2021. So we're just getting a little bit wide on the exit there. But yeah, we're really trying to manage everything at the moment, but still want to make that move work. You know, this is, I mean, the 2 points is handy, but this is a lot more about pride on the line at the moment. Aston Martin and ourselves, both Mercedes-powered teams there, really trying to prove ourselves this year. We're both right at the back at the start of the campaign, but both teams have made really good progress as the year's gone on, and we're just hoping that can continue and we can solidify ourselves as better than them, not only in the championship, but also on raw pace alone. So there we go, lap 21, DRS for the first time then, we've managed to get it. We've still got a quarter left of the battery, so now it's a case of trying to stay close enough to Seb that we can make a move work here. Maybe next lap, maybe the lap after that, but fingers crossed before the end. We have actually been able to stick pretty close to Seb as this lap has unfolded there. Valtteri Bottas, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, as Hamilton just dropping away from the cars in front of him on his hard set of tyres. But we need to try and time the run on Sebastian out of the final corner here. This thing just slingshots itself out of the final turn here at Japan. So we head out of that final corner then. Look at the straight line speed we've got in this car there. Activate the DRS and we're basically alongside him by the time we get to the start-finish line there. clean ahead of Sebastian Vettel with just 6 laps to go here from Suzuka, and what a simple move that turned out to be. Super happy with that one. This Williams is fast down the straight still. So that racing the McLaren over in the My Team career mode. But yeah, back up into P8 then of the GP. We've worked hard over the last few laps to get back to where we probably should have been. Let's just now not bottle it and bring this car to the flag.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
I've just realised Bottas has gone to set a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix on a 28.7 there. We're only 3/10 off that with a lap that, I mean, felt pretty good but not perfect. We have the DRS off Sebastian down in towards turn 1. Could I really risk it and try and go for a fastest lap? I'm not convinced it's the wisest idea, but I might try for it just once.
Perez has just posted the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, all the front runners decided to tempt me there with going for the fastest lap, but I don't think we're going to get anywhere near it.
12.6 seconds.
Especially now Perez has gone even faster there, but top 3 now really bunched up once more in this GP, so perhaps now Verstappen, those hard tyres starting to cost him late on in the afternoon. 3 laps to go here from Suzuka. And surely, yeah, Red Bull will be praying everything he can hang on.
15.9 seconds.
15 seconds still clear of George, though. It has, again, not been a day to remember for him. Also, now notice we can start underfueling the car a bit. No safety cars today, and we're 2 laps up on fuel, or a lap and a half up. We started, yeah, pretty much even. Around in the final couple of corners, then about to start the last lap here of this Japanese Grand Prix, and looks like
Final lap of the race.
Looks like Verstappen might just hang on when all is said and done in this GP today. He has got Bottas and Sergio all over the back of him. But looks like, yeah, the top 3, how they started, will be completely reversed by the time they finish there. Hamilton, yeah, another disappointing day for him. That is going to be a hammer blow in the championship, and might actually mean Bottas now is only going to be a couple of points behind his Mercedes teammate here with a few races to go of the campaign. But of course, after today, we head back over, I think, to Kota next time round.
9 seconds.
But yeah, on paper though, 8th to 8th doesn't sound like the most exciting race in the world, but this was definitely one of those ones we needed, where we sort of consolidate and make it very clear to the other cars around us that we have now got the 5th fastest car. 2 laps of fuel remaining, so we've definitely saved a lot there as well. But yeah, Suzuka are often a very, very difficult test on F1 2021 as well, one where the AI goes super, super strong at as well. Max Verstappen though is going to come through to further extend his championship lead here at the end of the Japanese Grand Prix there. Honda, I'm sure, will love that with both cars on the podium there. Sergio Perez finishing P3 with Bottas, the filling of the Red Bull sandwich there. But like we said, 8th to 8th for us. Not the most exciting result on paper, but we had a good bit of drama and good racing today. And on our return to Suzuka, I'm pretty happy with that one. I think we earned the points we deserved them.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Dutch Grand Prix, sorry, the Japanese Grand Prix even, I should say there. And it is the Dutchman, Max Verstappen, who takes home the dub there, ahead of Bottas and Sergio Perez, who also picks up fastest lap there. Just 1.1 seconds separated our top three at the checkered flag there. Hamilton, a very, very quiet P4 there ahead of Sainz, Leclerc, Ricciardo and myself, who all finished where we started in this GP there. Sebastian Vettel made good gains there from 11th to 9th in the end there. And yes, Tsunoda scoring points at his home Grand Prix. I'm sure he was very, very happy with that one. Ocon just missed out ahead of Stroll and our teammate George Russell there. And yeah, Lando Norris could not make any progress during that Grand Prix there. Just 21 thousandths though behind George when they got to the line. So that must have been quite close right at the very end there. Does mean championship-wise, the gap at the top opens up to 36 now for Verstappen. Can Hamilton or Bottas stop him with just a handful of races to go in the campaign? Only time will tell there. Charles Leclerc, though, re-jumps us as we get the jump on Pierre Gasly. So, yeah, we are now still in P9 overall, but just 1 point behind Charles Leclerc and 1 point ahead of Pierre there. Sebastian Vettel again re-jumps George Russell in that battle for P13 there, as they're both closing in on Kimi Raikkonen, and constructors-wise, Mercedes now just 48 ahead of Red Bull. Red Bull could genuinely spring a surprise late on in the year there. We're now just 3 points back from AlphaTauri as well, so we're looking pretty good as we head in towards the final few races of the campaign. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we'll be back very, very soon with more F1 2021 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.